Hello, this is Uzamaka from the Women of Remarkable Destiny. I am introducing a new topic. I started a new teaching series called Overcoming the Effects of Sexual Abuse in my first video. And this second one, I'm dealing with unresolved anger. My focal point is to talk about um, anger that still can be in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. All unresolved anger can be an issue for people who've experienced sexual abuse. I was sexually abused as a child. It took me over 30 years to find healing, wholeness, and I'm still work in progress. And even recently, I realized that I still had some unresolved anger as a result of that. That's why I'm doing this teaching, because sometimes it can be hidden, unresolved anger. How do you know that you've got unresolved anger? Um, there are certain ways that how do you know that you can have unresolved anger? There's certain indications when you think about the persons or the people that abused you, and you just find this rage or something that comes up in your heart. It's an indication that there's still some unresolved anger, and the effect can be devastating. It can be devastating, and it's something that needs to be addressed as you go through your healing process. Um, for example, when I look into the Bible, there's a story about two brothers, Cain and Abel. That's in Genesis chapter 4. And for some reason, because um, you know, his offering wasn't accepted and his brother's Abel's was accepted, in Genesis chapter 4, verse 5, it says, "But for Cain and his offering, he had no respect or regard. So Cain was exceedingly angry and indignant, and he looked sad and depressed. And the Lord said to Cain, verse 6, Why are you angry? And why do you look sad? And why do you look sad and depressed? And the Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why do you look sad and depressed and dejected? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin crouches at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it." And in verse 8, "And Cain said to his brother, Let us go out to the field. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him." And this Cain killed his brother because he had unresolved anger in his heart, and his brother was innocent. So what am I trying to pull out from these scriptures? Anger can actually cause you to do something drastic, to do something catastrophic, to do something you're not expecting to do. And I realized that, when you've been sexually abused, I was sexually abused, I talk about it. I had over 80 issues to deal with, and it took over 30 years. And I realized there was a lot of anger that I haven't dealt with. So, how do you know that you've got unresolved anger? You can think about the person, and suddenly something just props up in you. You just become angry, and in your mind you feel, oh, you might even want to do something, retaliate, but that's not the way to deal with it. So in talking about dealing with unresolved anger, it's so important for you to just begin to let it go, begin to release it. When you think about that person, just try not to be angry, so that it doesn't affect your health, because sometimes unresolved anger can, boil into rage, other things, and it could release all kind of